Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture number 3. It is lecture number 3 of power system stability. In this lecture, we will derive the swing equation. So main part is the derivation of swing equation. Okay. Before coming to the derivation, let us discuss steady state stability criteria and transient stability criteria and some assumptions. Okay, now steady state stability criteria. The rate dp by d delta, that means the differential power increase obtained per differential load angle increase is called the synchronizing power coefficient or electrical stiffness of a synchronous machine. It is taken as the measure of the stability of a system. Okay. The direct state synchronous stability criteria for a simple system is if dp by d delta greater than 0. That means this synchronizing coefficient is positive. The steady state stability limit is reached when dp by d delta equal to 0, and if dp by d delta less than 0, the system is unstable. Okay, here there are some assumptions. So number one assumption, generators are represented by constant impedances in series with the no load voltages. Number two, the mechanical power input is constant. Very important, the mechanical power input is constant. Damping is negligible. This is number third. Next, load angle variations are small. Speed variations are negligible. So when the effect of inertia of machines, governor action and automatic voltage regulators are considered, the problem becomes more complex. So the criteria dp by d delta, this is equal to 0 alone gives a low result which is safe. Now next come to the transient stability. As you all know, the transient stability is the ability of a system to maintain synchronous operation and to reach a stable state or the one close to it after a large disturbance. As I already discussed, here definition of stability is based on the disturbance. So some assumptions also here are: number one, system resistance may be neglected in comparison with reactances. The machine has cylindrical rotor. The direct axis synchronous reactance xt, that is equal to the quadrature axis reactance xq. The system may be reduced to an equivalent two machine system. Important point. Next, each machine may be assumed to supply an infinite bus. Okay. Now next is the direct axis transient reactance, that is xt, is used for machine representation. And next, very important, the shaft input power may be assumed constant for few seconds after occurrence of a fault, after occurrence of a disturbance. This assumption may be valid on the grounds that the mechanical system involving governors, steam valves, etc. is relatively sluggish in operation. Okay, sluggish in operation as compared to rapidly changing electrical quantities. So with fast acting valves, the assumption of constant input will not be true. Okay, so important point. So the problem of stability revolves around the determination of whether or not the torque angle delta will stabilize after a sudden disturbance. So mean is the torque angle delta. In case delta continues to increase after a disturbance, the machine will lose synchronism. And in a now in a synchronous generator, as you know, the input is the mechanical or shaft torque and the output is the electromagnetic torque. Both these torques are assumed positive in the case of synchronous generator. Now, for a synchronous motor, what is the input? The input is the electromagnetic torque and the output is the shaft torque. So, based upon the sign conventions adopted for synchronous generators, the values of the shaft torque and electromagnetic torque are taken as negative for motor action. So now let us take Te as electromagnetic torque and here Ts is the shaft torque. So if the losses are neglected, the difference between the shaft torque and the electromagnetic torque is equal to the accelerating or decelerating torque. For a generator, when Ts greater than Te, T is the electromagnetic torque, then Ta is positive. This Ta is called the accelerating torque. T is positive and the rotor accelerates. In case of synchronous motor, Ta is positive only when Te greater than Ts. Okay. Next slide. So let's start the derivation of swing equation. As shown here, two diagrams A and B. Diagram A for generator and diagram B for motor. So representation of a machine rotor comparing direction of rotation and mechanical and electrical torques for generator and motor. So here Te and here Te, direction is opposite. Okay. So the equation governing the motion of the rotor of a synchronous machine is based on the elementary principle in dynamics, which states that accelerating torque is the product of the moment of inertia of the rotor times its angular acceleration. So this is the elementary principle. So let us consider a three-phase synchronous alternator that is driven by a prime mover. So the equation of motion of the machine that is given by J moment of inertia times angular acceleration. So J d square theta by dt square, that is equal to Tm minus Te and also equal to Ta, that is the accelerating torque. So J here the moment of inertia of the rotor masses in kilogram meter square, theta that is the angular position of the rotor, T time t in second, Tm the mechanical or shaft torque supplied by the prime mover, Te that is the electrical torque or net electromagnetic or electrical torque, Ta the net accelerating torque. So the mechanical torque Tm and the electrical torque Te are considered here positive for the synchronous generator as shown in figure A. Remember figure A? This means that Tm is the resultant shaft torque which tends to accelerate the rotor in the positive theta m direction of the rotation as shown in figure A. Under steady state operation of the generator, Tm and Te are equal and the accelerating torque Ta is 0. In this case, there is no acceleration or deceleration of the rotor masses and the resultant constant speed is the synchronous speed. The rotating masses, which include the rotor of the generator and the prime mover all are said to be in synchronism with the other machines operating at synchronous speed in the power system. So, in this, the behavior of a synchronous machine during transients is described by the swing equation. The behavior of a synchronous machine during transients is described by the swing equation. So let us consider here theta be the angular position of the rotor at an instant t, and delta is the angular displacement of the rotor in mechanical radians. Then we have theta equal to omega st plus delta. This is equation number 2. Here omega is the synchronous speed. Omega s is the synchronous speed of the machine in mechanical radian per second. Okay. Now on differentiating equation number 2 with respect to t, we have d theta over dt, that is equal to omega s plus d delta by dt. This is equation number 3. Okay, this is equation number 3. Now again differentiating, we again differentiate equation number 3. Then we have d square theta m by dt square, that is equal to d square delta m by dt square. So this is equation number 4. Now from equation number 4, d square theta by dt square, that is equal to d square delta by dt square, put in above equation number 1. Then we have j d square delta by dt square, that is equal to ta, or that is equal to ta minus te. Now on multiplying equation number 5 both sides by omega m, then we get j into omega m d square delta by dt square, that is equal to pm minus pe, and this is also equal to pa, where pa, that is called the accelerating power, equal to omega m into ta. Also in left hand side, j into omega m, this is also equal to capital M, and called the angular momentum of the rotor at synchronous speed. It is also known as inertia constant. Okay, so md square delta by dt square, this is equal to pa. This is called the swing equation. Okay. Now in stability studies, another constant related to inertia is very often used and called the H constant, and which is defined by stored kinetic energy at synchronous speed in megajoules to rating, machine rating in MVA. So this is equal to j omega s square divided by machine rating, 2 times machine rating, half j omega s square. So from this we have the value of m, that is equal to 2h by omega s, and if we put in equation number 6 swing equation, then we have then we have 2h by omega s d square delta by dt square, that is equal to pm minus pe, that is equal to pa, and divide by sm. Okay. So it is in per unit, because we divide by machine rating, so actual upon base comes in the per unit. So this is equation number 9. 2h by omega s d square delta by dt square, that is equal to PA minus PE, that is equal to PA in per unit. So this equation number 9 describes the behavior of the rotor dynamics and hence is known as the swing equation. The angle delta is the angle of internal EMF of the generator and it dictates the amount of power that can be transferred. This angle is therefore called the load angle. Okay. Now next is the swing curve. A graph of delta, usually in electrical radians versus time in seconds, is called the swing curve. As shown in figure, swing curve provides information regarding stability. They show any tendency of delta to oscillate and or increase beyond the point of return. If delta increases continuously with time, the system is unstable, while if delta starts decreasing after reaching a maximum value, it is inferred that the system will remain stable. So swing curves are useful in determining the adequacy of relay protection on power systems with regard to the clearing of faults before one or more machines become unstable and fall out of synchronism. The critical clearing time is found to specify the correct speed of the circuit breakers. And the solution of swing equation involves a method that is called the step-by-step method. Also, I'm discussed later. This list discussed by later. Now, here there is a numerical. A 2-pole 50 Hz 60 MVA turbo generator has a moment of inertia of 9 into 10 to power 3 kilogram meter square. Calculate the kinetic energy in megajoules at rated speed. The inertia constant m and h, the inertia constant on 50 MVA base. So very simple numerical. First of all, find n 120 F upon P. This is 3000 RPM. So kinetic energy stored, that is half J omega square. So half J into omega square. Then we have 444 megajoule. So what is H? The value of H, kinetic energy stored in megajoule divided by machine rating. So we have 7.4 megajoule per MVA. Now what is M? Again, kinetic energy stored in megajoule divided by 180 into F. Here F is the 50 Hertz. Then we have 0.0493 megajoule per second electrical degree. Now per unit inertia constant, value of inertia constant in per unit. So this M, value of M divided by base value. So we have 9.86 into 10 to power 4 minus 4 per unit. So very simple numerical. So that's all for now. Thank you very much and wish you all good luck.